Welcome back. On the foreign scene, Hong Kong police used live rounds on protesters today, shooting an activist in the chest. This happened as mainland China celebrated 70 years of communist rule. Simon Pusey has more in Around the World in 5.
Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. An activist involved in anti-government protests in Hong Kong has been shot in the chest by police. The incident came as thousands of people demonstrated against the 70th anniversary celebrations of communist rule in China. Though people have been shot by rubber bullets in previous protests, this is the first injury from a live round. People took to the streets in central Hong Kong and at least 6 other districts, blocking roads and setting fire to bins. 31 people were injured during the clashes as police fired tear gas and protesters threw petrol bombs. The person who was shot is not thought to be in a life-threatening condition. Meanwhile, mainland China has celebrated 70 years since the creation of the People's Republic of China with a remarkable National Day parade. The spectacle, held in Tiananmen Square, saw 15,000 military personnel marching in perfect precision through the centre of the capital. 580 pieces of military equipment rolled through the streets, including tanks and intercontinental ballistic missiles. 70 years ago, the Communist Party leader chairman Mao Zedong announced the creation of the People's Republic of China before a mere 17 planes took part in a flyby. On Tuesday, there were 160 aircraft flying overhead. There are 56 different ethnic groups in China. Each were represented here with different coloured floats. It was such a big event that the country's Communist Party decided to offer a staggering 620,000 free televisions so that the nation's poorest residents could watch. The celebrations were rounded off in the evening with a magnificent fireworks display. Chinese compatriots across the country, comrades and friends, today we hold this grand gathering here to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. At this very moment, with great joy, people of different ethnic groups around China and overseas Chinese are proud of our great motherland with sincere wishes. It's emerged that President Donald Trump urged Australia's Prime Minister to help the US Attorney General in an investigation of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe in a phone call. The New York Times reported that the White House restricted access to the transcript of the call with Scott Morrison to a small group of presidential aides. It's an unusual decision that is similar to the handling of a July call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that is at the heart of a House of Representatives impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the United States and North Korea plan to resume working-level talks next week. That's according to the US State Department. The announcement was also made on North Korea's official news agency website. Negotiations on denuclearization have stalled since February, when President Donald Trump cut short his meeting with Kim Jong-un in Hanoi. He left without an agreement after Kim insisted all US sanctions should be lifted on the country. A bridge in northeastern Taiwan has collapsed, crushing several fishing boats, with some crew feared to be trapped. The bridge collapsed at around 9:30 a.m. local time, while an oil tanker was on it, setting fire to the vehicle. At least 9 people fell into the water, while 6 people were seriously injured. The number of fatalities is not yet known. Tractor-driving farmers in the Netherlands have taken to the streets, causing the worst ever Dutch morning rush hour on Tuesday. That's according to the motoring organisation ANWB. It said there were 1,100 kilometres of jams at the morning peak rush hour. Farmers reacted angrily to claims that they were largely responsible for a spiralling nitrogen emissions problem. A report has called for inefficient cattle farms to be shut down and some speed limits lowered to cut pollution. Farming groups believe they are being victimised, while the aviation industry is escaping scrutiny. And finally, a spectator has interrupted models at the Chanel show in Paris Fashion Week. The intruder, decked out in a Chanel-style tweed jacket and matching skirt, caused a small commotion at the end of the show by inserting herself in between the models, taking a last lap around the set. The prankster was later identified as a comedian who pulled the same prank in the Etam runway a few weeks ago. And that's your international news around the world in 5.
Welcome to Sports News, and thank you for staying with us. In the UEFA Champions League, Super Eagles and Club Brugge forward Emmanuel Dennis scored a brace, but his side were unable to hold on to the lead as they settled for a 2-2 draw against Real Madrid. Elsewhere, Mauro Icardi's goal over PSG gave PSG victory over Galatasaray, while Red Star Belgrade beat Olympiacos 3-1. German giants Bayern Munich showed class, beating Tottenham 7-2 in England. Shakhtar Donetsk secured a priceless 2-1 away victory over Atlanta in Italy, while English Premier League champions Manchester City beat Dinamo Zagreb 2-0. In other matches, Serie A giants Juventus beat Bayern Leverkusen 3-0. Atletico Madrid also beat Lokomotiv Moscow 2-0. And in tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic has blasted past qualifier Australian Alexei Popyrin 6-4, 6-2 to reach the second round of the Japan Open Tennis Championships in Tokyo, playing in his first singles match since retiring from his U.S. Open fourth round match at Stan Wawrinka due to a left shoulder issue. The Serb showed he was fighting fit as he fired 7 aces and won 84% of points on his first serve. Djokovic now into his 271st week at number 1, having passed Ivan Lendl, 270 for third place in the all-time list, takes on local favorite Go Saida in the next round. And that's it on Sports News. I'm Archie, back to you.
And the main news again, President Muhammadu Buhari today congratulated Nigerians on the country's 59th independence anniversary as he revealed his government's decision to institutionalize the special intervention programs by moving it to the newly created Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. That is the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching this Independence Day edition. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.